CEL, Communications and Entertainment Limited.
Welcome to another film from the Bill Collins Movie Collection. And it's a great one of my favourite films of all time, Mervyn LeRoy's Random Harvest. The source of Random Harvest was the 1940 novel by James Hilton, a superb writer whose title came from a German official report. I quote, "According to a British official report, bombs fell at random." It is interesting to ponder the meaning of the title. It is also interesting to note that Greer Garson and Ronald Colman, the stars of Random Harvest, both are identified with other works by James Hilton. Greer Garson made her movie debut in Goodbye Mr. Chips, and Ronald Colman starred in the unforgettable Frank Capra film Lost Horizon. Mervyn LeRoy said of Greer Garson and Ronald Colman, "Between the two of them, the English language was never spoken more beautifully on film." And indeed, the way they speak and the way they bring the wonderful characters of James Hilton to life will, I'm sure, inspire you. You read the novel by James Hilton, you will see Greer Garson and Ronald Colman perfectly representing those great characters. Random Harvest also provided us with one of the most delightful things ever done by Greer Garson on the screen, Armistice Night, and she appears in her kilt to do a wonderful impression of Sir Harry Lauder singing She's My Daisy. You'll adore this sequence. It's unforgettable. The cast is quite matchless. It includes a lovely young actress named Susan Peters. In a prominent role, she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for her performance. Susan Peters, within a couple of years of this film, was to be injured in an accident that left her crippled for the rest of her short life. Also in the cast, an actor who was very prominent during the 1940s in films, particularly at MGM, Philip Dawn. You'll like him enormously. And here's an interesting scene, a breakfast scene. This scene includes quite a few famous people, including Alan Napier, famous in the Batman TV series, Anne Richards, the Australian actress, and Jill Esmond, who was at one time the wife of Laurence Olivier and played in the original Broadway production of Private Lives with Laurence Olivier, Noel Coward, and Gertrude Lawrence. There are a lot of other interesting people in the cast. I wonder if you can spot Peter Lawford in one of his earliest film appearances. And now, Random Harvest, beautifully photographed by Joseph Ruttenberg, and a film I always treasure. Isn't it a beautiful film? I love Random Harvest, and I'm sure you must love it too. And you'll enjoy it more and more the more you see it. So many interesting things about the film. Both Ronald Colman and Susan Peters were nominated for Academy Awards, but lost out. Ronald Colman to James Cagney for Yankee Doodle Dandy, and Susan Peters to Teresa Wright for Mrs. Miniver. The film was nominated for an Academy Award. Greer Garson did receive an Academy Award for that year, 1942, but for Mrs. Miniver. And of course, Mrs. Minner won the Academy Award as Best Picture of that year. As I told you earlier, the film was enormously successful and is one of the longest runners ever at the famous Radio City Music Hall in New York, and it was enormously popular in Australia. Next time you see Random Harvest, do look out for some of the interesting supporting players. For example, Peter Lawford appears in the film, one of his earliest parts. Melville Cooper, who is Mr. Collins in Pride and Prejudice. Una O'Connor and Norma Varden, who are so marvellous in Witness to the Prosecution. Henry Travers, you must have seen him in the lovely CEL release, It's a Wonderful Life. Margaret Wycherley. Oh, and of course Arthur Space, who was Velvet's father in the television series based on National Velvet. Look out for these people. Get to identify all the supporting players. It makes it so much more interesting. There are so many good films in the Bill Collins Movie Collection. I hope you're checking all the titles out. You are, aren't you? Here are three at the moment that I'm particularly keen about. First, The Bachelor and the Bobby Soxer, written by the famous novelist Sidney Sheldon. He won an Academy Award for his story and screenplay, with Cary Grant, Myrna Loy, and the delightful Shirley Temple. It's an adorable film, and I know you'll enjoy it. Adam's Rib, with Spencer Tracy, Katharine Hepburn under the direction of George Cukor, regarded as one of their finest films, with a great star to be in the cast, Judy Holliday. You must see Adam's Rib. And The Seven Faces of Dr. Lowe, a brilliant fantasy drama with Tony Randall. He will surprise you because he plays the Seven Faces of Dr. Lowe. Here now is just one of those faces. You'll have to see the film to find the others, but don't miss this one. So there you are, all exciting movies from the Bill Collins Movie Collection, and there are many other exciting releases through CEL. So always keep your eye out for CEL, and you can really be sure of fabulous entertainment.
CEL, Communications and Entertainment Limited.